Awesome. What's up, everyone? Thank you for everyone's patience. We were getting all of the mic and the camera set up for when Crypto Gym Rat joins us in just a second here. But I want to say, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Trust everyone's having a great day. I'm just going to share the screen real quick of who we're going to be having on. And I really look forward to the conversation and just to all of the different knowledge that we have in this community. Let me come over here and actually right here. So this is who we're going to be having on. He's in the green room, but we'll introduce him after the actual intro. So maybe about 80 seconds after this. But it's going to be so at Jim Rat Crypto. His Twitter channel is in the description as well. So, and he also just had a recent birthday, so happy late birthday to him. But without further ado, let me do the intro, and then we'll say what's up to everyone, and then we'll bring on Crypto Gym Rat. Okay, 1 second.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey, hey, woo. Hey, yeah. Say hey, woo. Say hey, yeah. Say hey. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.
Awesome. So yeah, without further ado, let me bring on Crypto Gym Rat. Just give me a little thumbs up in the background. Yep. I'm guessing we're good. Okay, cool. How's it going, my friend?
I was just grooving to that song. That's just a banger, dude. That boop boop bop, bop, bop. Like that's nice, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's so true. You know, I gotta say shout out to Joe Hexotic for doing that one, man. He's got some insanely good talent, and so do a lot of other hexagons in different areas. But that one, I just fell in love with it the first time I heard it, you know.
Yeah, that little pop that thing has while Richard's just like, oh, that can get me dancing in any room, anywhere.
Dude, it's
I
so
just
true.
love that dance, and then the BallietBran. And good streams to you, sir. Like that probably made you feel electric when he said that, bro.
Yep.
You were probably like,
dude, it's,
dang, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
damn.
It's true, man. You know, it's always cool when when you know you get a good shout out and things like that, and people kind of recognize the stuff that's going on. But yeah, that was awesome. And then same thing with that little video of Richard dancing. A lot of people haven't seen that found out about Richard a little bit later, but it's really cool, man. You know, he was dressed up in like some pretty colorful clothes and got some pretty good dance moves too.
Those aren't rug pull dance moves. Those are happy dance moves. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can tell like a CEO dude who's rug pulling, who's at dance moves, like he's real stressed out, low key. He's got like 100 dudes trying to kill him because he's about to scam 10 dudes. Richard's just like winning, like winning. You know what I mean? Like it's just
that's
like
so true.
He goes crazy because, and you can see it in his movement and his talk as well, that he's not stressed about non-work things. And I'm not saying like, oh, he doesn't have a life and stuff, but you could tell there is like, he's an honest person. He doesn't have a following of people trying to hunt him down and ruin his life. Like he's doing the best he can. I mean, obviously there's haters, but when I read Richard Hart's self-help book, pieces of it before I ever learned about Hex. And it's the weirdest thing because I was learning from a guy that knew about Hex, and he recommended me a portion of the book that I was focused on in particular. Was relationship portion because I was struggling with that at the moment. And
totally.
I was reading it, no idea who Richard Hart is. like, and then Bitcoin mining got talked about. I heard it in the book or something. I don't know. And then MLD and all that stuff happened, and I started hearing it more and the scam stuff. And now I'm here, dude. Thank God I made it, man. Oh my God, all the
Yeah.
FUD. I was in a paid group. Imagine a young man, hungry. I was hungry, dude. I was
Yep.
ready. I had a little bit of money I saved up, 5,000, 4,500 bucks, something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I paid group $850. Let's talk about how real shit goes down. Let's talk about how it actually goes down instead of all the stuff online everyone wants to talk about, all the little stuff. It goes down because this isn't a scam. There's no scamming here. I did not get scammed. I was misled, and opportunity cost was that was what occurred. I bought Bitcoin instead of Hex, and I got the 10x. That's basically, well, not that specifically, but they put me in one direction when I could have gone in another, and I could have my bags. You know, I still made some. But my bags would have been, I would have been done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And no hate. I love my life. I want every second of terror that my life has to offer. I want every second of pain that my life has to offer. I don't want to get rich tomorrow. I want to feel it every step of the way because I won't be able to have it otherwise. Because I know what people that have money that don't know how to use it or didn't earn, didn't earn it, but didn't put in the moral effort, the real effort where you're in your bedroom by yourself, thinking by yourself, what am I doing? Is this right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right call? Am I listening to the wrong people? Your parents are telling you one thing. Don't buy shit. Go get a 401k and IRA and work until you're 80, just like your dad. And I'm over here like, that makes no sense. I'm going to put that on the burner. I'm like, let me put that on the burner for a minute, you know? And then I start hearing guys like BallietBran, Motley Investor, even Cultivate Crypto on his stream sometimes. He's just really good information, some just spurts of good information. And I started sticking them in. And then I realized Dogecoin went up 6,300%. And I realized nothing had value. Then I realized Hex is the best product that ever existed.
That's so cool. That's such a cool story, man. It's you know, you mentioned some of the paid groups and same thing, dude. Myself in 2017 got into a paid group, and you know, a lot of the information I realized later was the best information that was shared for free that was done by Richard. But sometimes you, like you mentioned, and I think it's kind of like a cool learning experience, but you mentioned that like you want to have all of the pain that, you know, your life has to offer, or, you know, all this necessary type of deal. And you're right, man. Like without the pain, there kind of is no gain type of deal. And as you mentioned, even if there is like, you know, randomly you just, you know, become wealthy without kind of like the pain, then you're not going to appreciate it. So you're not going to like, you know,
it's directly proportional. It's almost like an algorithm. It's like if you don't feel the feeling that someone with the accumulation of that money for some reason has to feel in order to be grateful for it. If you're not grateful for what you have, you lose it every time. You might lose it morally. It might not be the bank account number, but when you're beaten off to porn all day long because you don't know how to live a life or have your, you know, that's what occurs. I've seen men get tarnished by money and turn into serial either pornography users or daters, or you know what I mean? Like it doesn't funnel properly if you don't do it properly. And that's what, like when Richard started speaking of like delayed gratification, words like, and those are words that I've used in my life many a time up until that point. I am a workout freak. I worked out so hard for 4 years. I don't work out like that anymore. I still work out, but now it's more lifestyle, happy workout, more so than before. I had something to prove. I was trying to grind it out. You know what I mean? Like I wanted boys to know what was good. So I was at the gym grinding. I thought that's what success meant at the time. Wasn't the truth. Learned from it. Keep moving forward. But at the end of the day, Richard, delayed gratification. I saw a guy on the internet not selling me anything talking about delayed gratification, and I was confused. I was so confused, dude. I was like, why is he saying that? Where's the marketing angle? I was like, where does he want my cash? I'm like trying to like, you know, reverse engineer business in my head. And then I realized he's rich already. He wants to be someone that I want to be. I want to be someone who makes an impact on everyone's life around me, whether that's for something minor or major. And that's at this point, that's all he can go for because he's done everything else, like all the scammers in crypto hadn't done shit. They hadn't had those nights by themselves wondering if they should start this huge business that'll change everything. No, they just worked a job. Hopefully they could sneak into a little rug pool with some dude who had good coding and they could get in, get out. And, they weren't thinking, let's save the world. What about all those guys that are working so damn hard every single day? NFL athletes, tear your ACL, tear your MCL, tear your Achilles, overnight, done, family, done, boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait, you could have put your first game check into a 555 stake and been done your whole life?
Yeah. That's
and
so
you're just
true.
like, there's a team of football players that BallietBran could be in front of, and they need to hear this.
Yeah,
they need this more than any coaching talk, any family talk, any be a good guy talk. Listen, buddy, inflation gets your numbers up. Family's got to eat 10 years from now too, buddy. Stop, use your brain. Start thinking. We can help the actual people because you understand the suppression of knowledge. We're single. You're not a single guy, but we are young men that are learning a lot of stuff. We have the opportunity to not have children running around. We can absorb all of this information. But all the plebs, all the guys with 5 kids and they're never heard of crypto before, they're effed. They need us. And that's what we're here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And I know that's what you're here to do. And because I already got my position, whether that's a 2% position to what Bran has or a 200% position to what Bran has, it does not matter because when you have a position in Hex 555 stakes, obviously not $100 position, it takes a little time, but let's say you have a $50,000 555 stakes, something like that. You really put your ass on the line. You waited it out. Dude, I don't have to worry about 15 years from now. I got to worry about now. You know what I mean? And it's just freed me up, this mental space for me, and seeing all you other guys, you, Lit, Motley, Funding Jim, just A-listers, dude. When I say A-listers, I just mean hustlers, just the guys I want to be around, the guys I would like to talk to when I wake up in the morning on the phone. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about to me. That's what it's all about to me. Gerardo, I mean, there's just a name. It just goes on.
Yeah. No, you're so right. And yeah, Gerardo was in here, Lit was in here, all the guys that you mentioned. It's so true. I mean, I've never been in the military, but I've done football sports and stuff like this. And some of the Hexicans that have at least been in the military say that part of the major bonding that they get is going through shit together, and a lot of us Hexicans, whether it's now or whether it was early on, had to deal with a whole bunch of people that had closed minds, that they were saying things without really thinking. And a lot of us were able to kind of see through that and, fortunately invest and take advantage of the opportunity. But like you mentioned, what if we didn't have that opportunity and didn't take advantage of it at the time? So shout out to
what is that
everyone.
Moment? When was that moment for you, Bran? When was that moment? When was the moment that somebody said it and you were on your Coinbase, messing around trying to get some hacks?
So it was actually because
were you a day one? I don't know.
Yeah, it was day one for me. But what my moment was getting into crypto in the first place so I was already into crypto, but my major moment was with Richard Hart because as you kind of mentioned, sometimes whether it's in a group or whether it's with your friends, you might hear one person talk about one thing and not mention another. And long story short, I was on Reddit and someone was, they were just talking bad about Richard in the comment section about being a Bitcoin maximalist and all these other things. And so I ended up saying okay, who's this Richard Hart guy? Let me just see if this is true, what this troll is saying. And turns out they were completely wrong. The first videos I saw were all self-help and was Richard trying to give back and help his fellow man and woman. So yeah, I'd found him from kind of, a troll on the internet.
Yeah, because you could, authentic guys, and I'm not talking about perfect guys. We're not perfect guys. I know Bran would say the same exact thing. Yep. And if you don't know Bran and you're just assuming about him, I've talked to Bran on the phone for a couple hours at a time a few times. Yep. He's about as open-minded and willing to admit his mistakes. He's the first one to be oh, I had a problem. Let me talk about it because I can interject on this. He's not oh, I never had an issue. Oh no, it's okay. Me and my girl, everything's perfect. Diet perfect. Life perfect. I got $1 billion. He's never for 1 second even tried to ooze that vibe from him. It's always been like, oh, I had a problem with that. Or he's just doubling down on MLD, calling, or like, no, I don't want to say it, drop any names, but like doubling down on someone in the comments, just like, you're a dirtbag. And I'm just like, this dude is firing shots because he knows what he's talking about. With the confidence, he's like, boom, get down. Like, just don't even go there. Bran will it's Bran Hammer. That's when I hear Bran Hammer, I just see like a comic book dude just being like.
And, I don't know where the nickname came from, but I love it, dude. And you're right.
That intro was
the
goat of all intros.
Well, like you mentioned, kind of like that truth to power that Richard does, or you mentioned about some of the things that you and I have talked about with other people. You have to be able to do that, especially if you're trying to like help people and be a leader. If you see someone that's clearly, like misleading people and getting people wrecked, like, wouldn't you rather have them get wrecked? You wouldn't want them to keep getting wrecked. You'd want them to keep learning. Oh, okay, maybe I should learn that. Maybe don't follow this guy, or maybe verify his information instead of just trusting him.
Well, yeah, you have to understand source. Like, once you get older and you start really diving, you spend a couple $800 paid courses. Because let me give you guys my vibe. I'll give you a little bit of my vibe. Like, I'm just like, I was always a popular kid in school. I always had good friends and a good social circle and good stuff like that. Lots of anxiety, lots of drug issues. And I got in a lot of drug trouble when I was young, like big time trouble. Big time cops were called. Cops were there. I got arrested a bunch of times, multiple occasions. And I stopped altogether at 19 years old. I said, I'm done. Done. Zippo. I don't care if I ever have a friend again. I ain't doing another drug or thing in my life. Like, I was done, dead set at the time. 6 years later, I got out of all that, and I was a better man, and I made no money, and I learned a lot about being sober. And I don't think I had a car for 3 years. I was throwing sandwiches at people's, like, legit. It doesn't feel like anything to say this because it was just what occurred. But I had no license for 3 years. I was at Jimmy John's, grown man, working at Jimmy John's with no car. Couldn't even deliver a sub. I had to bike it. And delivery champ, by the way, $100 a day tip, by the way, like, was making that Jimmy John's cash. But anyway, like, it wasn't embarrassing at all, at the time. But like, my young self would have said, that was so embarrassing, man. You're such a loser for doing that. And I'm like, you know what? That was fun. Like, thinking back, like, on life and everything that goes on, like, I was slinging sandwiches, talking to young kids in the Jimmy John's, messing around, best time of my life. No girlfriend, no sex, no nothing. I was dry as a bone back then. To be honest, it was pretty ass. It was pretty assy. But, I was living in a halfway house with 12 serious drug addicts in the same house, Bran. We ain't talking about a Ritz-Carlton over here. We're talking about a little ass house. Like, I was four to a room. 4 grown men that had been to jail multiple times to a room. And I was the youngest one of all of them. Not saying anyone was violent or mean in there. Everyone was decent. But at the same time, I thought my life was over. I thought it, your perspective at the time, and then you build yourself up day by day, I had nothing else to lose, and I'd already been through all the pain. And, I had nothing to be afraid of. It was like, oh, no, another girl doesn't want to talk to me. Great. Welcome to the list of all of them. Nobody's coming my way. Oh, well, great. No one expected me to make money anyway. Every teacher told me I was a failure, not in a direct way, but by putting me in sped classes, not letting me do S, saying that when I was playing kickball real nice, that I was being crazy, even though I just wanted to play kickball. No shit. I wanted to play kickball, dude. Kickball's lit, and I still want to play kickball.
Yeah.
So,
damn straight. Yeah, kickball's badass.
So all that stuff happened in my life, and then I came here. I'm not sober anymore. I've learned a lot. I've read dozens and dozens of self-help books, every single one I could find that had any relevance to me. And I've dated 100 chicks, hundreds of chicks, done whatever and now I'm here, and I finally am feeling the passion in my heart that I've always wanted. I feel the passion in my heart that I've always wanted my life to be impactful. I don't necessarily knew how, but I knew I was smart, and I knew I was savvy, and I knew that I knew that because of what I did at the gym, that I could do something else good too. I was like, Scott, you might have not done a lot right, but you did one thing right, and that means you could probably do another thing right. So when this
Yep.
crypto stuff started coming out, I said, I'm just going to be Mr. Crypto. I'm going to learn all this stuff. And 2 years later, I'm talking to BallietBran, Brand Hammer, Brand Hammer. I need some like animation where there's just like a big fist in a crack. So yeah, that's kind of my story. Like I had huge drug problems. I've done steroids. I've done everything you can imagine as far as drugs. I have experience with. I have literally notebooks full of information on dosages, everything. If you have a problem in this community when it comes to medication, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I can lead you in the right direction. I can give you resources. If I'm talking about steroids and stuff, like there's some danger in that stuff. If you're already in the middle of that, like I can help you. There's not, just like crypto, there's no resources for that stuff. There's nobody to say, hey, you did steroids, let me help you get off of that safely, instead of like, nobody cares. They're just like, that's taboo. Don't talk. Like, what is that? Don't say anything about that. But in reality, there should just be a resource, just like crypto. There should be a resource where you can learn, but nobody wants to learn, Bran. And you know that. Only Mexicans.
Well, well, I mean, you're so right. And yeah, one of the things that you mentioned is, not feeling shame when, like you mentioned, you had gone through some stuff and were working at the Jimmy John's and things like that. Because once again, you almost have to like go through some of those shitty experiences. Because I've had the same thing as well, and I look back on them now, and it's like, man, that really wasn't so bad. But also, as you say, you kind of have to be able to learn from it. Otherwise, you might not be the best person to tell someone else about it or things like that. You can kind of lead someone through a community when you've gone through something and been on the other side.
Right. Like when I go to my doctor's office, I literally have a 3-page notebook. I mean, a notebook with, I usually fill out 2 or 3 pages of information notes. They have not a clue what I'm talking about. And I just realized from you and Motley a lot that really, I was just under the impression that other people were smart. Like I was under the impression, like when I saw BallietBran or all his family and friends walking down the street, I would just assume they're all smarter than me, no matter what, because I was told that most people were smarter than me by the way I was treated in school, inadvertently. So I was always like, oh, I don't want to go over to the smart people table because that's scary. What if they say something like, and then I just realized, wait, they're talking about canceling Joe Rogan and that's it. Like my mom, I was literally at a party with my mom and she says, I hate Joe Rogan. I said, Mom, you're literally a pleb. Like you're literally a pleb.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. Well, cause you're right. And that's, when it comes to stuff like that, like, yeah, I've got a shirt that says like PULSECHAIN and it says like, hey, blockchains, or, freedom of speech, all this other thing for the sacrifice. But yeah, talk about another cool thing that Richard's doing and that Hexicans are doing, which is like leading by example, not only in crypto, but like, freedom and stuff like this. And hey, your rights to do this and that. And I think that's cool. A group of educated people that are trying to educate other people on, what some of their freedoms are.
Let's talk about those days where you're 19, 20 years old, laying in bed wondering if anyone will ever love you. Like that's real shit, Bran. Like I've dealt with that. Just like I don't feel like anyone dealt with that. You don't feel like anyone dealt with that to the extent you did. Like when you're young, you don't know. You're just like, because I was a handsome dude. I was like, oh my God, I'm pretty fortunate. I'm lean, like upset, chronic pain, sickness of not feeling like I would be loved. Not necessarily by a woman, but not knowing what that was. And like feeling like I'm a man alone on this earth by myself. Yes, my parents are there, but they're on freaking cancel Joe Rogan talk. I got no one like to talk to. Then comes the Hexicans. I mean, I had some relief with the sober community that I engulfed myself in with a couple of years, but they're plebs nonetheless. Like I wanted thinkers. I just wanted thinkers. Like I just like, can we read something and learn something and talk about it in a group and then like challenge each other? And I found people like that in my day-to-day. And you know what I do with them? I sit them on that couch and I teach them about Hex right there on this TV. I say, sit your ass down because you're coming with me. Literally, I'm like, I go to the gym. I find the 3 biggest chads. I'm not talking about ripped. I'm talking about guys that I think are cool. Generally, like a guy that would business sensey, like, a guy that's doing well for himself, maybe drives a nice car, has a good swag about him. I'll talk to that guy and I'll say, hey, what's your exposure in crypto or Bitcoin? I'll say, like, I'll just ask him to get a gauge. And I say, I know you're interested in crypto. If you're interested, I do this for a living. I do it for free. I just say that. I'm like, I do it for a living. This is what I do. Come to my house. I want you to be with me because I want those guys with me. I need them with me in my community.
Yeah.
I want to take over here.
Yep.
I want to take over this city, and I want everyone in this city to be in it with me. I got Justice Hill down the street playing NFL football at the stadium right by my house.
Yeah.
I go there every Sunday, bro. We chill in the parking lot. Let's connect. Let's get these guys together. Between me, Justice, there's a few other guys in the DMV. I feel like I can get everyone in Baltimore to know what Hex is. I truthfully believe that. And I'm not saying everyone in the world. I'm saying everyone in Baltimore. I live on the corner of a huge street and I own a big house. Not a big house, but a big house in the area. But like in a city. I could legit put a Hex.com neon sign in my front yard and 100,000 people would see it every single week. Like I live off 695, like the Beltway. You know what I mean? I have so much traffic in front of my house. And I was just thinking, like, let's just do it. Like, let's just keep going. Like, let's keep going and seeing what happens. Because I don't care what anyone says about guerrilla marketing or whatever. That's how shit is done. That's how Subway. I saw Steph Curry 11 times yesterday on the Subway commercial. 11 freaking times, Bran, in one UFC card. 11 Subway commercials, the same commercial. Freaking Subway Club, Mr. Steph Curry. Hey, this thing is a good sandwich. Like no material. And we're out here like 40% APY. Change your life money in 600 days. Like, let's go. And then smart people, it clicks though. And they're like, okay. Because when I tell them, when Apple stock sells more phones, the price doesn't go up and they finally clicks for them. And they're like, value comes from nothing except marketing. And then you realize, oh, we're just marketing 40% APY, the best product ever on a blockchain that's totally legal. And you're just like, oh, game over. Like, checkmate. You're just so like, cool. Oh. And then when the smart person clicks with it, do you see it in their eyes? And you're like, oh, boy. Like, you know?
Well, you're so right, man. And like, that's one of the cool things about kind of like abundance versus scarcity mentality and mindsets is that, you know, we see that, hey, as far as analogies go, like, yeah, there's a damn fish or there's a sea full of fish. And like, hey, we just learned how to catch one, but we're trying to teach the other people instead of them, you know, like trying to teach them how to be financially free. And like you mentioned, the 40% APY, when people hear that, they almost like, Hex, you know, Richard mentioned it before, like Hex's biggest problem is that it is almost too good to be true in some of these things. And so it's like, man, there really actually is that opportunity for those people to have the same opportunity a lot of us have had and continue to have. And, you know, you only get there by helping the other people succeed too.
So true. But even the multiplier, like, you know how you get paid in Hex and it compounds when you onboard rich people that are friendly and nice to Hex, they're your friend forever. And those guys have business too. I'm getting a $60,000 loan tomorrow at 11 a.m. Debit, and I'm 27 years old. That's not a big amount of money to some people, but to me, the fact that I found a guy and guess what I'm doing for the second time? I'm going to his office. This is a big, you know, normal financial office building. And every single person's going to be in the room with me, looking at the screen. You know that because I run that joint. Because I'm going in there with real info. This is not fake info that's in my brain. It doesn't matter if Richard taught it to me on his live streams. It's still legit info. You know what I mean? Like I learned it from Richard and you guys, but it's the truth. Happens to be what's actually occurring. So just listen. Because there's certain people that can absorb that information for some reason. It doesn't mean they're smarter necessarily. They just are open-minded for whatever reason. And they want something bigger for themselves. Because I know Bran wanted something bigger for himself before he found Hex.
Yeah, dude.
Of course he did. Like, because why is he in front of a camera right now with a mic sticking into his face? Because he wanted this. You wanted this. You didn't know what it was that you wanted, but you wanted something. And I did too. And I wanted... And then when you see the impact you can have online, and yeah, it's about the likes and about the stuff, of course, a little bit, but it's not about the money. Brand, none of us want a cent. I could not take a cent from you. Like, vice versa. You want it. You just be like, exactly. Come on, can we just get to business? Like, let's get stuff working. Let's get the car wrapped. Let's get, you know, the money's there. The money is there if we need it. But now we have the freedom to actually be passionate and accept in financial takeover, because in my eyes, it's already happened. Like when I learned about Dogecoin, 6,300%, 63,000% since launch and all that shit. And then the value, once that value thing clicked, I knew it was over. The value thing clicked. It just clicked over and I said, it's just a number on a screen, liquidity, buy, sell, buy, sell. That's all it is. If Elon Musk sells, it doesn't matter if they come out with a supercar. It goes zero. It doesn't. So value means nothing in that case. Value means nothing. If you can come out with more products and sell more and your stock can still go to zero because one man decides that he wants to buy an island. So that's where the value thing stopped. And when it clicked and I just started onboarding. I didn't even ask anyone. I was just like, I need to get in front of as many people as possible. I mean, I am an onboarding crazy man. I can't stop myself from doing it. I was just at a party for my nephew, talking to the two guys in there. I had no idea who they were. They had kids running around, and they're talking about buying Avalanche. And I'm like, I'm like, please. I was like, the fork. I was like, real quick, can I have a minute? The fork. Buy this coin. You can hit me up if you want to learn. Get your phone out. Get your notes out. I told them, figure out Crypto Coffee and Hodl Dog. I said, go Crypto Coffee, Hodl Dog. Those are the first ones that come out of my mouth. And then I say, if you want to know what's going on, buy a little bit of Hex, wait for the fork, and then call me. Just get some exposure in the fork and then call me. Because I am a resource for people. If they want to pay me to have a one-on-one sit down with me and really dig into the stuff and I could teach them, okay, I'll take some money from them just to for 2 hours of my time. But I would never sell anything online. I'm not a coach. I am not a guru. I am not smarter than Bran. I'm not smarter than Hodl Dog. I'm not smarter than Crypto Panda. I ain't smarter than anyone, but I know exactly what's going on right here. I can promise you that. And I got the chart. ETH BTC Hex chart. Show it to everyone. Tell them a penny to 65K. Put it up on your big screen. Say, this has happened twice before. It's happening again. Jump on. And you could do it. Thank you, Gerardo. Thank you guys in the community. It would take me a decade to learn how to make a chart on a website. But it would take, but you know what I mean? But I could onboard 100,000 people in a month. I could do that because I know myself. I know what I'm capable of in the sales way. I'm a salesman. I've always been that way. I've been doing door-to-door sales for 5 years straight.
Really?
Good. Well, I don't want to say exactly what my business is, but I go
of course. Yeah.
I go house to house. So I go house to house and I serve a client that I've never met before. Every day, 6 times a day. Still, to this day, Monday through Friday, I talk to new people every day. I could sell you a piece of shit with a fork in it because I'm passionate and I'm happy and everything I says means something to me. People know that what I'm saying means something to me. It's not like I'm just like, get in on this BitConnect before, it's cool, it's lit, I'm like, I got 15 charts on my computer. Please come to my house. Please. I want to spend 30 minutes with you and I want you to be my friend for the next 30 years. Let's work together. And that's what I've been doing. I've been creating an army, dude. An army of Hexicans in Baltimore.
That's so cool.
Everyone in my family, the CEO of Aerotech, literally a ginormous company, all his kids, all his nephews. I'm talking about this dude's worth and I don't know exactly his direct buys or anything, but I onboarded them and they went to their financial advisors to work it out because their financial advisor, I was talking to a 100 millionaire. He called his financial advisor in the office in front of me and he was with his daughter and his son and one other guy he worked with. And I knew this dude was big money. If you're a financial advisor for a dude with $100,000 personally, cell phone number, that's a big thing. He knew exactly what Hex and Pulse was, dude. He knew exactly, dude, and he's a boomer, but he's legit. But he's legit. So I was like, there's exposure here. People know this. It's happening. You know what I mean? People are learning about this. But the really tricky smart people, that's another dude with billions of dollars that maybe none of us know that knows about PULSECHAIN.
Yeah.
What?
That's so
when
cool,
he said
man.
That, and then I asked him, I was like, can I get that guy on the phone? I need to know what he knows. I want to know what he knows so I can get a gauge on what's going on around here because I want to get in the middle of it. I'm 27 years old. I own a small business. I have no reason to be hanging out with these guys. But I just
Yeah.
interject myself, dude. I'm just like, hey, my name's Scott. I know about Hex and I want to talk to you guys. Like, and they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
do I owe you anything? I'm like, nope.
Yep.
Let's sit down. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
it's so
And
true.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
being
and you're
breakdown.
right.
I can't even.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool, man. That's awesome. I love to hear your stories and things like that, and obviously the passion behind it, because yeah, it's one thing when someone's like clearly trying to tell you their sell you like their miracle bar or whatever. And then it's another thing, like you mentioned, when like, you're not asking for any money, you're trying to genuinely help them, and you genuinely care. It makes a huge difference. Let me
Well,
just
I
say hi to the
genuinely
chat real
want them
quick.
on my
Yeah.
team. I want them on my team.
Right.
Like when I
Yeah.
see Brand going down the street and he's like, yeah, I own a good business and I have this and I want to know about crypto. I want you on my team. Like,
Yeah.
join me. We can talk every day. I want to know what you know. Help me. Let's help each other. I'm going to chat up you one second.
Perfect. I was going to say, so we got a lot of people in the chat. I want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. We got about 58 people right now, or actually 48 people, I mean. Motley, he says, what's up, boys? Listening to you guys in 2x chipmunk voice speed. I love that. Optimus Kevtron says, I'm digging the shields behind you, Jim Rat Crypto. We've got Zooted on Hexasy says, hey, Lit. Hey, Lit, the little fire thing. You and Mama Awesome are always in my thoughts, brother. Believe that. Same thing with you, Lit. Hope Mama Awesome's doing well. Trust that she's feeling better and everyone's being healthy. Wrenchy T says the shields are dope. Totally agree. Yeah, shout out to Motley and to Scott for helping out with the shields, because when I first saw that shield, I knew I wanted one and asked where I could get one. So thankfully, Crypto Jim Rat knows someone that helped out with those shields, and we'll ask him about that in just a second here. D'Artagnan says Jim Rat is so authentic. I love his honesty. Totally, me too. Yeah, whether you agree with someone or don't, I think people can definitely respect a person's level of honesty, and just being honest, even if they don't like them, they can at least commend that part. What else we got here? Pabalaba. We've got Optimus Kevtron. Nice to see you. I know Gerardo was in here in the beginning of the chat, so shout out to him. Once again, if people like Gerardo and Whales Only weren't creating these resources, these charts and graphs, then people like Crypto Jim Rat or any of us wouldn't be able to show them to people if we didn't have those skills. So, Gerardo's doing amazing work, and so is everyone collectively. It's really a group effort. What else we got here? Oh yeah, Corey, an investor, another great Hex musician, says, okay, we are live, and some of us have to live in the valleys to experience the peaks. He's totally right about that. Yeah, life definitely is a roller coaster. It's not, it's not ever flat. It is, like a damn heartbeat going up and down a whole bunch. We got Mel Tony. Nice to see you. My life is awesome. Lit. He's saying it's good to see everyone. Refined Hayseed Appellation. I like this too, because I follow. He follows some of the same people I do outside of Hex, which is pretty cool. But nice to see you. He says kickball and dodgeball. We got SJ Reed Sci-Vive. I'll need to check out their channel. First time seeing them, but they say yeah, sci-viving. Who else we got here? Yeah, this would be cool. We need Jim Rat and Optimus Kevtron next. That would be awesome. AJ Rip City Hex says, "What's up, my Hexagon peeps?" And
how's the chat
that's pretty
looking,
much
Bran?
I was gonna say the chat. We got. Let's see. Let me scroll up just a little bit. One of the guys was saying that they love the shields that you have in the background. And what kind of hat you got there? Oh, Shield Masters. Perfect.
That's my buddy. He's on vacation right now. If anyone, all right, let me spit this out since I've never said this on a live. I always beat around the bush. Shield Masters owner is my best friend since elementary school. He just happens to make shields for a living. He loved Captain America as a kid. Anyway, he's not a Hexagon, but he bought Hex and 555'd it, but he knows nothing about Hex. I just did it for him and then told him to tweet that he was a Hexagon, but he's getting there. But he's just a normie. He doesn't. Anyway, if anyone wants one of these, I make not a dollars profit. This is my best friend in the whole world. I just want his small business to do well. Literally, I don't take anything. I tell people to DM me because he's just not good at Twitter or running his business right now. He's new. He's just new.
Understood.
If you want any of these shields, I will personally deliver the message to him. If you DM me, he's not on Twitter right now. He started, and then I don't know where he's at, but you can get the little things or the big things. I'll tell you how much they cost. I can get you the best deal possible with the promo code if you DM me. And then I don't care if you buy any of this stuff. He is a wonderful guy. He knows little about crypto. He just makes this stuff. But I love memorabilia, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too.
And I want everything NASCAR memorabilia. I'm moving this TV, and it's just going to be NASCAR Shrine. So this will be NASCAR Shrine. This will be Shield Shrine. And then I might have to build something up over here to but yeah. So anyone who wants those shields, DM me. I'll get back to you. My DMs have been going absolutely bonkers. I've got people, just like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to create an army down here. When I say an army, I want at least 5,000 people directly in the Baltimore area with good jobs to have Hex exposure.
That's so cool.
That's what I want. That's all I want. And I don't know why. And maybe the marketing of Hex is so good that I'm absolutely obsessed with it now, and I don't care. Because I want everyone to be financially free because I hate the government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't hate the government as individuals. I'm sure everyone's just working. But, I hate where things are going. It's sad to me to see my parents fall victim to misunderstanding because people used to be honest to them. There was people on the news that were honest to my parents when they were young. And they watched the same channel. And they don't know what internet spamming is. They don't know what hackers in your DMs are. They don't know what Bitcoin mine. Do you Bitcoin mine? And then they click on the link in their messages. So they're just confused because misinformation is now the standard.
That's so true.
It's just, it sucks. Why? We need to take over, Bran. We have to be honest. We have to be honest. We can actually make a difference in the trajectory of the universe for the planet Earth by changing, and it could be bad. We could fuck this shit up, brother. But we are be trying our best to be morally correct. And I know it. I just know it. I don't know why I know it, but I kind of just know it. I don't really have to dig into you too hard about it because I've seen your content and you got no strings to pull.
Yeah.
You're smiling ear to ear like you're geeking out on some weed. You're happy as a clam all the time. You're grateful to be alive. You seem grateful to have a girlfriend or a wife. You seem happy. I've made time for my girlfriend tonight. I'm going to do that. I always respected that. I always respected how you would be respectful to her because I come from a place where you're taught, not taught, but I learned from role models in my life, not my parents, that being super respectful to women was weak.
Right.
And when some of the guys in the community were open about their relationships and moving, just very respectful about it. And then I was you don't have to be crazy about your shit. You could just have a girl. Everyone's not perfect. I'm not perfect. She's not perfect. But it's way more fun than just being lied to and running around doing a bunch of dishonest shit. You want to be with someone, actually be honest. It's just an honesty thing, And that's what I've been learning from guys in the community. Just Lit, he's talking about his fire roasted. I'm if that guy's got a fire roasted, I want a fire roasted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
straight
dude,
up.
Yep.
So, but I'm just always, his lingo is always killing me, dude. And the thing is, man, I know we're gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang out.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna drink and we're gonna do a little chilling. We'll do some whatever kind of crap concerts, whatever, dude. We can do this shit for the rest of our lives, man. We go Daytona next year. We'll probably have 3 Hex.com cars next year. You'll probably be in the pit for one of them for whatever reason. Whatever.
Yep.
Our lives are gonna go nuclear, and they already have in a way. I mean, numbers on the screen isn't nuclear, but it's right here. It's what changes when the number goes up. Is Bran gets that freedom to be the Bran that he wished he could be when he was powerless as a young man.
Yeah, man. You're so right. Yeah, it's one of those things that most people don't really think about, but because most people do think about, working 40 hours a week or, this job until you're 65 or whatever the retirement age is. And for a lot of those people's paradigms to that, kind of got into Hex early or stayed true with the investing and the consistency, for a lot of those people to now have all the time back that they normally would have worked for someone else for, I think is really awesome. And you mentioned too the community. I'm kind of like introverted and extroverted. I've got 3 older brothers. I was always able to make friends with their friends and friends of my own. But ever since the Hex community came out, it's like, dude, this is just one of those communities that's just so genuine, so powerful, and so magical that, like, man, I wouldn't want to be a part of any other community, because a lot of the people here do have a whole bunch of diverse knowledge and, constantly seeking to strive in every single area. And I just love that. It's super inspirational.
I don't know what it is about people. It's like, I think there's something about having a family and being stressed out that kind of kills the creativity in you. And I'm not saying you can't find Hex after you have kids and stuff, but it's like, I see a lot of people early on and they get strapped with kids before they got money. And it's like, sorry,
Yep,
buddy, your
that's
kid's
true.
buying, you're a horrible person. Get to work. Like, I didn't sign up for any kids. I don't want a kid. I'm not saying I wouldn't like a kid in the future. I'm just saying, like, I would never do that. I need the bag first. I wouldn't do that to my. And I'm not saying
That's
that
true.
everyone's
That's true.
mindset's different, but in the position that I'm in as a young man who has knowledge of crypto, who has no children yet, like, I'm going to
Right.
make my children chilling, whether
Yeah.
they know it or not.
Yep.
But that's also my ego talking. Like, I like to be, like, I like to think, but like, I drive a Toyota Camry.
Oh yeah.
I own a house that
Hey,
has 2 renters upstairs. I don't pay a dime to live in my house. You want
That's so
to,
cool.
and I go down to the construction site down the street. They all got BMWs.
Yep.
Wake up.
Yeah.
The fuck up. You're climbing. Because I've done construction. I know what it's like. Those guys buy BMWs the second they get their first $2,000 to pay a down payment on something. And they go straight to their girl's house, and ain't no one giving rat's ass.
Yep.
And I'm not saying cool cars aren't cool.
Right.
I'm saying if you don't got the cash to back it up, get in line and wait like the rest of us. I'm out working you in the meantime while you're paying your BMW payment overdue for 3 months straight. I'm in the Camry, paid off, baby. Rolling down the street, heavy, banging little baby music. 3 years and a bird. I don't care if the hottest chicken walks up or whatever. I'm just happy. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm in a Porsche or and I'm saying, like, obviously if I had $1 billion, I'd have a cool car. But like, get to work until you're ready to have some stuff. People think, hey, and I got a news flash for you guys who don't get laid. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but newsflash, if you buy Yeezys and all that stuff, no one cares. And if you buy a nice BMW, no one cares. But if you smile and act nice and get your body right and have a good personality, people like that, because that is actually what life is. I can see right through anyone, and so can anyone that has any money in their pocket. I go to these rich communities with the golf to do my work, my business, to do the golf. They have a golf course on whatever they country club. So I go over to the country club. They're all on their last dollar after mortgage, dude. I'm telling you, dude, after the 2 Porsches and the mortgage, they're just cutting barely. And I'm like, you make $300,000 a year. What are you doing? Like,
man.
And then it's just the paradigm, dude. You just get humble. Can people get humble for 5 seconds? Like, and just, I love my Camry. It looks like a homeless person was in there today. Like, it's trashed. It's like, I'm literally, before my girl gets in the car, I'm like, I'm so sorry that I'm this way. Like, please just don't look at my car. And then we go down.
I drive a Corolla.
And it's the best. Dude, what are your payments on it? You don't have payments.
My Corolla?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't make payments, dude. Yeah, like, I mean, obviously I pay insurance, but it's all paid off. So
and if you saw that kid's Staker app, you would S your pants. You would have a big load of dookie going down your pants if you opened a steak wrap in your fire roasted grill. I can see Bran sliding over like when steak wraps like a popular thing, just as like a total gag, like a total joke. Like you're with a couple buddies and one of their girls, and like they already know about steak wrap because it's popular, and you just pop it over and it's like 799 million, and that's like your third account, and you're like, man, market's up a little today. Look. A little 5% bump, and it's just like 779 million, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ, like Brad's the goat. But no, yeah, like humble day one Hexakin, like your life has changed so much more than mine, in the number way. Like your number's way higher than mine, but like I just feel the same thing you feel because we understand the product.
Yep,
exactly. You understand the product, and you know that once I understand the product, because we both just numbers on a screen in 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. Like it's going to be too high to buy stuff with. What are you going to buy with it? Brandon Island and like 10? No, I mean, you're just going to probably just like help people and buy a nice place and get a nice car and just do like, how much money can you spend? Yep, but we're going to be helping people. I'm going to be dumping money on race cars. I want to dump money on race cars. I don't want to dump some money on a race car. Like when they were taking donos, I was thinking about it, and I don't even got it like that. I was like, I just want to do some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I have a good amount staked, but like I really had to hedge my bet 15 for when I found out, because I understood where I was at that moment. And I said, okay, you're a young man, you're working. I 15'd it. I mean, between 4,000 and 15, between 4,000 days and 5555. 90% of my stakes are.
Yeah.
So listen up, kids. I ain't seeing that money forever. I'm walking out the store, going to the gym, and going to work tomorrow heavy, hardcore. Like I'm working hard tomorrow, harder than a lot of people. And not something I'm particularly happy about doing at the moment. Right. And guess what? I'm still waking up, talking to people. At the end of the day, we're waking up, talking to people, talking to our family. It's the same shit, different day. But now we have Hex. And now we can make impact in people's lives. And now we have information about PulseChain that no one knows, by the way. No one knows about PulseChain. So PulseChain's the regular PulseChain is like a distant, like people forgot it existed. Like, like Pulse Hex is buzzing hard now. The FUD, like I love how these FUD cycles go. It's like there was FUD about PulseX. So like who's that Moon dude, that African American guy who just says nonsense? Is Moon King. You probably blocked him ages ago, so you wouldn't know. But his name's Moon King, and he goes on and he says Dinger. He talks about Dinger.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I was just following this dude because I thought he was a Hexakin. And like, anyway, I forgot what we were talking about, but the Twitter community. I just want to say this to anyone who's watching. The Twitter community has been so nice to me. It's so friendly. I'm a little brash, and I like to say funny things that are like emotional, provoking, but everyone's just been thrown with the punch. There's a couple old heads that give me trouble in there about being weird, but like, at the end of the day, everyone's so open-minded about my personality. A lot of people I rub the wrong way in real life because I'm too much and I talk too much, and I'm like, this is just how it is for me. I don't know.
Well, and like, that's the beautiful thing is that, it's not like everyone has to like you, agree with you, things like that. But the ones that do, it's like, you get a lot of value and benefit out of those relationships and those friendships. And you're right about like the Hex community. I mean, one of my friends recently, they were like, man, I just want to be involved in part of a community that's about health, finance, success, all of this stuff. And I was just like, man, you need to get into the Hex community because it's not just about crypto or mad gains and things like that. Because like you mentioned, what good is that number that's like gone up and to the right if you lack in other areas, or if you don't feel fulfilled and satisfied? So it's really cool that a lot of the Hexakins, just encouraging each other, lifting each other up, and then also celebrating each other's successes too, and just trying to grow as a whole.
Especially when they work hard. Like you put in any work in Hexaco, like I'm putting in 3-4 hours of work in the morning, hour at night, here and there in between work. And people are congratulating me for working hard. And I'm like, thank you. I'm just like, thanks. Like, I appreciate it. Like nobody thanks me in real life for anything. Nothing. Like whatever anyone says, I'm just at the end of the day, whether business, not business, I own it. It's like we're working. I don't want to just be slaving. I want to be helping people talking about stuff that's important to me. And I have a gift for being social, and I have a gift for talking, and I have a gift for speaking. And I could
Totally.
speak in front of a group of executives right now without even having walk out my front door and do it. It wouldn't bother me a bit. Wouldn't even faze me. I have a gift in that way. But I'm telling you, it took me 3 days to figure out how to put a VPN on my computer. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
an idiot on the
Yep.
computer. So it's like,
Yeah,
there's some
yeah,
guys that could code their way through a website in an afternoon. So
yeah.
whether I come off as brash and I'm a social person, but this is what I'm good at. I'm a marketer. I am, like what a lot of the Kareem out there. I see Kareem. He's a good marketer.
Yep.
He inspires me
Totally.
with the way he dresses and his attention to detail. And he's not dressing like that because he's a swagger master and he wants everyone to think he's cool. He's a marketer. He understands the game he's playing. He understands who he's going to be in front of. Just like me, if I dress up, you can damn believe it's not because I wanted to. Because I like to wear
Right.
sweatpants and a backwards hat and a sleeveless. Like, that's my
Yep.
vibe. And
Oh,
but when
yeah.
I dress up, it's like I'm going tomorrow to go in front of these guys, and I am a little nervous to do that, but at the same time, I'm going there to get a loan, so it's kind of like, it's like we're just like, I want to see how far they go with it. Like, there's a bunch of financial advisors in there, so there's going to be people thinking I'm an idiot, but at the same time, I start throwing numbers around, and I just outclass people. They get outclassed so quickly because I'm so caught up on the Richard Hart information because I listen
Yeah.
to everything that mother effer has to say. There's not a word that
Exactly.
comes out of that guy's mouth that I don't listen to. And then whether it's right or wrong,
Sure.
I think some things he says are a little outlandish and crazy and like,
Sure.
because he gets excited. He gets
Yeah.
excited and then throws around a little lingo and he'll pull back a little bit, but he's usually pretty logical, reasonable. He says reasonable things. And yes, his tactic in conversation is to outclass you, and that's because he knows more than you.
Yeah.
And people could say, "Oh, he just knows what we're talking about, so he talks around me." And I'm like, "That's called knowing more than you do, you dingle."
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Yep. You don't know the Bitcoin top was on this day, the chart, blah, blah, blah. Like, he does because he's been there every day looking at that chart. When do you think the last time Richard didn't check the BTC USD chart in a day? Other than like after hacks, but like before hacks, maybe. I bet he checked it every single day.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, about every
But he's a
day,
chart
yep.
guy. He loves it.
Yep.
It's not because he wants the number to go up necessarily. He's been absorbing all of this for us, and he had the same purpose that me and you did. He just branched out in a different way, and we can have the same amount of success as he does in different arenas. It's 100% possible. We just have to replicate, just like he replicated Ethereum with better design, we replicate other people's businesses with better design because we actually do things properly. We want the user to succeed and we already have the bag. So we can do anything.
That's so true.
Whatever brand wants to do in the future, like Hex, whatever, marketing, whatever it is in your specific mind that you like, you could be the best at it because your intentions are in the right place. So you already have the head start. It takes years to get your intentions in the right place because no one has the bag.
Yeah.
No one has the bag and you have to survive. Like, you have to survive, but once you get the bag, you're like, okay, freedom, baby. Who wants? And then, but obviously some people go the opposite way, and you know how that rabbit hole goes. Drugs, alcohol, masturbation. Let's talk for real, guys. Can we talk for real? Instead of beating around the bush, you talk to someone about serial masturbating and they act like they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You all are gamers. Right. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, don't lie.
I was there with you, dog. Yep. And I have done some sick shit that not sick shit, but like I had habits that were bad over the years that I regret, that were detrimental. Yeah. And people are like, oh, like you admitted that? And I'm like, hey, we just know you just don't say shit. Because I want to talk about what really occurs when there's a 13-year-old kid and he's playing Call of Duty for 8 hours a day and he doesn't know why he wants to blow his brains out. Both his parents don't know what to do. And you're like, kid, cut the video games, brother. And you tell him what's up. You're like, you masturbating 3 times a day? Are you playing video games for 8 hours a day? You keep doing that and you'll be like every other fucking loser on the street. Someone needs to tell someone that sometimes.
Yeah,
because
dude.
Their parents are like, oh, don't want to scare little Johnny. Like, what?
No, dude, it's yeah. No, dude, that's so true, man. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. That people are, overcompensating with things. And like you mentioned, just because something is good or kind of gives you pleasure doesn't mean you need to like make that your whole life and things like that. Let me come up real quick and just say what's up to, yeah.
Please.
Oh, okay, just real quick. Yeah. So Jerry Oaksmith, and I do want to say happy late birthday, by the way, Crypto Gym Rat. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks.
But Jerry says, thanks for the Sunday streams, Bran. I'll congratulate you when you hit 5,555 subs. Jerry's another guy that's in my area. We actually hung out the other day with him and a couple of other Hexicans, and that was really cool. Yeah, dude, IRL, man. Yep. Got the
you guys are
photos.
hanging like that, getting some beers, chilling out.
Yeah.
Dude,
There's a place not too far away from Bellevue. We're in Renton hanging out, but yeah, it was really cool, man. And like, this community is just something else, man. It's super magical, and it's awesome to see that, like, like you mentioned, we only have 100,000 stakers, like less than 100,000 stakers. Like, what about when we hit 1 million, when we hit 5, 10, 15, 50 million? Like, those numbers are going to be insane. But then it's more than the numbers. It's about like what you can do with that still gives you, success and kind of makes you feel good about giving back to others.
They can't stop us, guys. They can't. There's nothing they can do. Look at me. For all you guys that are on the fence, I don't know. All you guys probably know exactly what you're talking about, but there's a few guys in the chat that are probably don't know what the hell is going on here. Listen to me. What was the statement I said right before I started the brand again? God damn it, I lost that thought. I forgot what I was going to say.
Don't play video games and don't jerk off.
No, right, like 2 seconds ago I said it. Like, what was the point I was just wrapping up to? Anyway, oh yeah, I remember. There's nothing that can stop us, guys. Literally, there's nothing that can stop us. Like, Brand knows this on a more intellectual level. A lot of guys in the chat know this on a more intellectual level. Don't worry about the intellectual part of it. Just learn over time. But there's nothing they can do. We're too powerful already. We are. Trust me. I see what's going on, and I see the impact that I'm having. And I am nothing. I'm a turtle. I'm going to get 100,000 stakers myself over the next 5 years. I am. I've already gotten over 100. Multiply, and when I say I got 100,000 myself, I mean between onboardees and who they get. So, like, I want to be responsible for 100,000 stakers myself. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to quantify that. But you know what I mean? I want to be just in it every day. Boom, digging into people. And guess what? If people aren't ready for the message, I'm not going to hammer it down your throat, but you're not going to rebuttal me with anything without me telling you exactly the truth. Like, I will not tell you anything. But if you start telling me that they sell more Apple phones and the stock goes up, and I say this all the time because that's like a common one. People are like, there's no value in Hex because they don't sell a product and blah, 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 whatever. The whole value proposition. But I'm telling you guys, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is your specialty is, I like talking about girls and working out and social stuff and mental health and depression and doing drugs. Like, that's what I like to kind of talk about. Like, just the real stuff in life that's really gritty. But you guys do other stuff. And between Hex itself, it can't be stopped. Physically, this cannot be stopped. It already has too much momentum. It can't be. We're too marketing heavy. We have too many people with fat bags. We have too many people that want exactly what I want.
Yeah.
There's too many of us, dude. There's literally like people popping up around my house. There's a dude in the NFL stadium down my house. You know what I mean? And he's talking NFL guys. And what if he gets into the room with a couple GMs?
Yeah, exactly.
And what if we get someone to help him get into the room with a couple GMs? What if we get Funny Jim to go down there? Oh, whatever. I'm just throwing names out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, dude,
But
exactly.
I could connect these people. I can help with the people in my area. And I know a lot of people in the big business in my area because I was from an area where a lot of people were big business guys. And it just happened to be that a lot of my family, that a lot of my kids, the kids in my area had really rich parents. And they were just like my boys, like lacrosse team, football team, shit like that. So I knew what it was like. Like, I was looking around that shit when I was little, and I was like, okay, I see these rich people aren't working so hard. They're going to the games and stuff. They ain't working. They got a big house. They're chilling. They do work. They write on their notepad a lot. Like, I noticed these things about these guys, and I always went up to them when I was little, and I was like, what you write on your notepad about?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I write a list of to-do things. And I'd always ask people, what do you write about in your notebook? And the stuff people say about what they write in the notebook, it ranges so far. Some people jot notes, some
Yeah,
people do
me too.
time stamps, some people do little outlines, some people do like
Yeah.
a story of their day. And I'm like, wow, these are all rich people, successful people, all have different methods, all have
Yeah.
different creativity outlets, all have different music styles they like. But so there's just too much. We can take over too much because I love hip hop. Like
Yeah.
personally,
Hell
I
yeah.
love
Yeah.
hip hop music. I want to be involved in the business part, if possible, at some point. However that occurs, I will move in that direction, and it could reject me. That area could just be like, nope, that no exposure, didn't work out. Those guys just don't, not the market. I'll adjust, but like
Yeah.
I'll see what's possible. I'm because I poke stuff out there about the gym, about the fitness, about the girls. I want to know what people want to know. What do you guys want to know? I went through a lot of crap in my life, and I, not more than anyone else, but like, you know, my own stuff. And I'm really open
Yeah.
about talking about the stuff that really bothers you when you go to bed at night, you know,
Mm.
because I remember being alone,
Yeah.
just alone, like no one to turn to. Like you had your parents, but like no one knew what you were feeling. No one cared what you were feeling. And you were just like, I remember being in college, got arrested for the second time, no money, total debt. Parents were like, should we like pay for his rehab? Like, you know, like I just remember like no idea what's going to occur in the future. Like, where am I going to go? Am I ending up like a junkie? Like, what's going on? And then you
Mm.
realize like you have power in your life. Like you do, you really do. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, Bran, drugs helped me a lot. Work drugs. And I'm not saying they do at this moment. There's certain times and places for certain things. And if anyone wants any information on anything like that, I can probably help you or at least answer a question.
Yeah.
But I needed the assistance of amphetamines at some points. And I'm open to talk about that with people. But guess what? I'm also open to talk about what's the right dosage? How often should you take it? Let's talk about what you should actually do instead of saying that's bad or that's good.
Mm.
If you take 10 milligrams once a week, is that bad? If you take 100 milligrams every day, is that bad? Yeah, that's really bad.
Right.
But if you take 10 milligrams twice a week when you have a heavier workload, is that bad?
Right.
Can you do things in moderation? Can we talk about what's actually going on here? And you see where I'm getting to the point where like, I just want to talk about what's actually going on. Like if I tell
Totally,
people
dude.
I'm on HRT all the time. I'm on testosterone replacement therapy. Everyone gives me shit about it. Everyone says I'm too young. Everyone says this. All I say is I'm a resource if you need help, because
Yeah,
I know what
dude.
I'm doing. I
Exactly.
know what I'm doing. I have a doctor. I have blood work. I've done the whole rabbit hole just like I did Hex. And I want to be a resource for people to do things in a healthy way. And many people have reached out to me in the Hex community about that. And I have never once suggested someone do a steroid cycle. I will never. If you want to know about how to do a steroid cycle, then go fucking look online and leave me the fuck alone. I'm about health and wellness. I'm never going to put someone in a position where I am liable. I might put myself in that position, and I don't anymore, by the way, but I have. But I'm about health and wellness and what's it called? Side effect limitation or whatever the verbiage is.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about how
Exactly.
you can take a drug and it doesn't ruin your life and you can do it in a manageable way. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's what no one gave me the chance. They said, Scott, you're a drug addict. You do one Adderall, you're done for life. If you drink one more beer, you're dead. They told me that. Every single person in my life told me that. I drink on occasion. I don't even like drinking. Like I smoke weed on occasion. I mean, I smoke weed maybe a little too much, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's all good. I have friends. I have love life. I have people that are there for me. And that's what people need to preach. We need community. We need to be there
Mm.
for each other. And we need to have purpose when we wake up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important thing. I agree, man. Having like some sort of purpose when you wake up, or, you know, even if you feel like you don't, just like you said, understanding that people, you know, do care for you, do care about you, want you to do the best, things like that. Cause, you know, the person that's suicidal thinks that there is, you know, nothing for tomorrow, or thinks that that is like the easiest option to take, when in reality, they might just be, you know, completely looking inside and not realizing that like they do have a lot of people that love them and care for them and things like that. But sometimes it kind of takes you, you know, going outside of yourself to realize that.
Yeah, man. And your open-mindedness for some, because you've mentioned to me that you didn't come from, like, obviously you're not from as social a background as me. Like I'm like one of the most social guys I know. So you like, but you're so open and honest. Like, you're not afraid to be like, I'm not the most social guy in the room. And there's a lot of people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
clearly aren't the most social guy in the room that would never say it. Just be
Yeah,
who you
yeah,
are. Just like, we're here for you. Like, please, if I need something, I'd like to be you to be there for me. It doesn't mean that I'm
right.
going to be like, well, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
all be there in a non-judgmental way if everyone's being honest. And we can smell when someone's not being honest so quick. And
Yep.
thank you guys
Yeah,
for
dude.
teaching me how to do that, or making me aware that that was something I had to be diligent about. Because surf through
Yeah,
YouTube, I can't even tell someone to search something on YouTube anymore because
right.
it's saturated by clickbait, and I don't know what they're going to see. What's up with YouTube and Instagram not finding a way to get rid of these spams? Why?
You know, it makes you wonder. I mean, because stuff like that, like Richard has mentioned, could easily be programmed out and coded out. And I'm not sure, man. I see it literally on every, like you mentioned, you see like a recommended video, and then it's like a Vitalik scam where everything around the border of the video is just like, false URL, and they want you to, send your money to someone else.
Yeah, but I get Bitcoin mining messages from people that have gotten hacked and their accounts taking like every day. Like, it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
odd. It's so, and because now I know the scam because I reverse engineered it because it's happened so many times. So I understand that they get hacked and then the person takes their account and then goes into their messenger and starts saying the Bitcoin mining thing and waits for one person to say I'm interested. They're waiting for one person to say I know that, or like have heard of Bitcoin mining lately and they think they can get rich from it from something they read on the internet. So they're just waiting, and then the seed phrases get typed in or the password gets typed in. I don't know when that occurs because I'm always like, get off the fucking internet, you pleb. Like, I'm always like ripping them a new one. Like, I'm like, but anyway, the scams are out of control. And what we know is that nothing is genuine in the market of the United States anymore. And just like Richard said, maybe Tesla and a few other companies. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Everything else is trash. Like, you learn this when you start looking at these hex websites that are so well done. You're like, oh my God, websites are supposed to be this well done? Like, perfect. Hex.vision, amazing.
Yeah. Fantastic
GoHex.com.
resource.
GoHex.com, beautiful. Not a thing you could miss on it. There's you know exactly what you're getting. Hex.vision tells you unique staking addresses, new staking addresses, new daily amount of stakers. You're like, what can I miss here? When's rug pull? Win rug. Hex.vision, 1,000 stakers a day. Win
Yeah.
rug. Win.
Well, I think like
rug.
like you mentioned, people like you and me have problems with people that are bullshitting, that are completely feeding other people lies. It's so it's one thing when they don't know what they're talking about, but especially like for something like Hex that you've been in or something that you're an expert in, and then the person continues to pretend like they know what they're talking about. I love Hexicans that say like, no, that's wrong, that's incorrect, and then kind of calling each other out. Even as a community, we all kind of keep each other honest and kind of can learn from each other, and I think that's important because, like you mentioned, you don't have to know everything or be the smartest person in the room, but you can at least learn from those that have the other experiences that you don't.
Right. Like, MLD can say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, he knows exactly what's going on in Hex. He does. He's a smart guy.
Yeah,
He's a smart
exactly
guy.
right.
And I did not want to call MLD out. This is the last thing I want to do. He forced my hand, dude. He forced it.
Mm-hmm.
He forced it because Hex was just on its 60% low. So it was just bottoming out 19 cents. And it was right at the beginning of the 19-cent, back and forth. And he said, and it pumped 7% or something. And Hexagon started tweeting. And he was just like, oh, the Hex marketing retards are out. Or the Hex, numbnuts that can just spam market, or he said some bull crap. And I'm like, after all of this, after the 10,000x, after rug pulling me at launch,
Yeah,
not
man.
rug pulling, but misinformation, and you're still gonna call me a freaking moron. And I was watching Charlie's stream for information. I enjoyed
Mm,
Charlie's stream. I liked learning about FTX, even if I'm not going to buy it. It's just like
sure.
pass the
Oh
time.
yeah.
Love learning about
Totally.
new systems and everything. Like, it's great to know because I need to know what people are doing. And then and then for Charlie, and Charlie's an educated man, a very educated man. I'm not saying he's perfect or whatever, but like, I've listened to that dude for hours on end talking about crypto. He's very on top of his stuff. For him to, they want Hex to go down so bad so they can sell fucking courses, dude. Like, they want to go down so bad, even if their bags go down, because they make like I mean, they can shove so many people on a webcam. It pissed me off, dude, because I liked MLD and we had a good relationship for the most part, just like chatty, little advice here and there, good talks and stuff like that. And then to FUD me on Hex and then to continue FUDding people 2 years later, please, I'm only a human. Like,
Mm,
and then to text me and threaten me and like, he just like, like, come
yeah,
on,
that's not
bro,
okay.
grow the fuck up. Yeah, it's not okay for him to not take responsibility for his goddamn self. What am I doing? I
Right.
reposted something that you spoke the morning of. All I did was
Yeah.
clip it. I'm literally advertising for you. And I
Yeah.
clipped a first 1 minute of the thing, posted on there, exploded immediately. Everyone commented on it, like 300 comments or some shit.
Yeah,
And
man.
he said, "Oh, he told me karma was going to get me bad. MLD told me karma was going to get me bad." And I said, "MLD." I just texted him. I said, "Add me to the list," and I just blocked him. Like, I was just
Yeah.
like, "Add me to the list, brother." With every other dude you try to tarnish because you rug pull people. Well, not I keep saying rug pull. You know what I mean? Anyway, Bran,
Totally.
what's the schedule for the stream? What's your usual vibes?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, just once again, like learning from the other person that you're having on. I mean, you mentioned the hex and the pulse and the pulse chain. I think, like you mentioned, sometimes people can get anxious for things like that are going on, and so they might either not keep studying about it, or they might like go find like another crypto here and there. But yeah, dude, once that pulse chain does kind of launch and the system state, everything kind of happens as we all think it does. It really is just going to be kind of something that can't be ignored. You mentioned, some of the, oh, Hex is a scam. It's definitely a scam. And then kind of doubling down on it. The same guy, so you mentioned, who kind of got you wrecked and kind of led you astray. And I mentioned who led me astray in 2017, which was JSNIP4. And his was like a $3,000 course. And then same thing, he
Damn.
had said, yeah. And he had said that Hex was a scam too, and all these different things. Turns out that guy's nearly the damn scammer. Freaking 4 years later, he's still talking crap about Hex. And so it's like, wait, yeah, who's the scammer, me or you? And like,
Imagine
if someone
waking up and
wants
doing
to,
that. Imagine waking up and doing
yeah,
that. Sell out, no balls, no heart, no nothing. If you sell the fuck out for $600 a head, I'd never. I would die on the fucking cross. You listen to me right now. But if I ever am selling you anything on my Twitter other than like maybe like a one-on-one consultation that I don't even want to do, just because I would like to help someone more personally if they really, really need help. And that's like, I don't even want to do that. Just know that someone has me hung up in my room and they're using my Twitter because it ain't fucking me. I
yeah,
have a job. I work. I'm happy. I don't want a nice car. I don't want a Rolex right now. I want to work hard. I want to earn my space here. I
yeah,
don't want to have 3 videos and people are like, Jim Rat Crypto is cool. Let's just like, I want to impact people. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm here to do. And I'm so freaking grateful that you've always, from the day I made a Twitter probably, or like did my Hexagon tweet, you do your like first old Hexagon tweet. You're like, I did a 555 today, best day of my freaking life. And literally I was on the chart. This is at 2 cents. It was May 2nd. And I bought 50,000 Hex for $1,000. I didn't think ain't much of it. Staked it all. What's up, baby? Just like that,
yeah,
I have a
dude, that's
fortune
so
in the
cool.
future. I didn't
That's
have a
so cool.
dollar to my name. That was all Bitcoin that I was swapping over. I did have
Yep,
$57,000 in Bitcoin, and I dollar cost averaged in because I was still learning about the project. So
totally.
I got in between like 2 cents and 17 cents with my whole bag. So I mean, I was in a great position because the pump happened right then. And Motley told me, Motley was on a thing. I didn't know who he was. And he was talking to all the guys, and he said, you never see 2 cents again. And I knew he was being honest. He wasn't saying it. He was like, guys, we're overdue at 2 cents. He was like, we're undervalued. I can tell. You could feel it, and it popped off to what, like 54 cents within a blink of an eye.
Yeah,
literally,
dude.
28x to 24x.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, literally having compulsions everywhere I go. Like, don't know how to think properly. I'm like, dude, what? I mean, 100 grand or whatever it is. You're like, I've been a pleb my whole life. You start like short circuiting.
Yeah, dude. It's true, man. And like in those numbers, they continue to happen. I mean, especially with Staker app, like you mentioned, certain milestones. And it's just cool that a lot of people have already, had success with, with Hex and with some of their investments to show certain milestones. But like, we really are kind of just at the very beginning and kind of the forefront. So how many more people are going to have those similar stories and are going to be able to share with other people, how it changed their life, how they were able to give back to other people and actually spend the time on what they wanted to and not what someone else wanted to for them, every single day.
And let's raise our kids well while we're at it, young Hexicans. None of us that have kids yet, seriously, I want this to be a part of our future. I want to work together. Like, we all have to bounce shit off of each other. We're all going to have kids probably. I'm not saying everyone can do whatever they'd like, of course, but like, majority of the guys will have children. And I would like to have a group of men that talk about how to treat your children properly. Like when that occurs, I would like to have a resource, and I will be that resource for. I won't be the guy to tell you the info, but I'll get the guys that have had kids already, and maybe that I think would be a good idea. Maybe like, I don't know if Crypto Heartbeat has kids. He's probably talked about having kids. I think he does. But like maybe a guy like that, someone who's so elegantly spoken and so sweet and so nice and kind. Like, me and Crypto Heartbeat have nothing in common, I feel like. But I love everything that he says. And I want more of that in my life because I don't have any of that. No one ever was like, be compassionate to your significant other. Well, I mean, that's not true either. Like, my parents would have been not a male. Like, not a male. Like, not a man.
Exactly.
It was never a man who was like, that you should do things this way. And my dad is an amazing human being. I love my dad to death. But this is a hard world to raise kids in. I was also a drug addict.
Sure.
Like, I'm not telling my dad like, oh, dude, you messed up. I'm like, we both had our trials and tribulations. I was here right with you. But if I can skip some of those for my son and maybe teach him some of the lessons that could negate some things in the future that maybe I stumbled on, and we could maybe he's going to go through his crap, but like, let's make it the normal crap. Let's have it no like serial drug abuse and like no like like really teach your kid like these things are problems. Nobody told me masturbation was bad. Nobody told me to, I was just like on my own, like thinking for myself, and I was a drug, like, and I just want I want my kids to have more structure for me because I went through a lot at that moment. So like, that's what, even stuff like that, like when we have kids, like I hope we have 5 people discussions on a channel Monday morning, like, first thing, like, or whatever, where we just talk about like being good to the fam and like how we check in with the fam and like stuff like that. Like, to me, that's what I want. That's what I need. And I know you'll be there doing that stuff with me and totally want to add value where you can.
Well, dude, 1,000%. And then like, that's kind of, where I'll kind of wrap it up thinking about that like you said, a lot of people aren't encouraged. A lot of people aren't kind of told some of these perspectives that we hear. And it's like, oh, this really makes sense. And what a difference it makes when someone's coming at it from that kind of view versus another kind of view that's more destructive. And we can all learn from each other. And as you mentioned with the, hey, if you're having kids, maybe learn from some people that have already had those kids or kids in general. And then, what are their mistakes? What are their regrets that you can hopefully learn from and not repeat? Because that's the worst thing you can do is have like a repeating cycle where it's like, oh, I did this because my dad did that. And then now because my kid does this, like, break those bad habits and don't like repeat them.
Great that you say that. Like, you obviously noticed there's some habits that your parents have that you didn't want to move on with. And I feel the same way. Like, I'm just learning this now. You probably are too, in like that couple first years of being like, my parents aren't perfect, dude. They have OCD tendencies that they've had their whole lives. They do things a certain way. They think Joe Rogan's trying to scam everyone and make sure they die from COVID-19. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Your parents aren't perfect, but if you have money, resources, and time, take care of your family the best you can. Be the
Mm-hmm.
best person you can, so that, first of all, I don't want people coming at my ass. I don't like when people are thinking, oh, Scott's getting over on me. Oh, Scott's not being good to his kid. I would like, even if that's narcissistic and egocentric to say, I like when people think I'm doing good, because don't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
people saying you're doing something wrong, so I'm going to interject in your life and like, I'll take care of myself, please. Like, thank you. But all these things in drug, I want to have a resource for people that are seriously doing drugs. Dude, there's people in this community that are doing drugs, and it could be me and it could be you. I'm not, of course,
Yeah.
I could,
Yeah.
but a secret place, not a secret place,
Exactly.
but a platform of men that talk about, like, okay, man, you're doing drugs. Like, I know a way to wean off this. I've had experience with this. Maybe this guy's had experience with that. I know clinics in the area, because there's
Mm.
rich Mexicans that are doing drugs. I don't need to know who they are specifically. I know who people do drugs. Like, lots of people do
Right.
hoard drugs. I know
Yeah.
that environment. And there's guys behind the keyboard that would never say, I need help because of my drugs. And now they have money, Brand.
Yeah.
So that's a
Exactly.
death sentence. But we can be there. There's no reason for people to fall. I need those people. We need those people, because the Richard Hart's idea for the whole thing is like, we need each other. And then
Yeah.
for this to have any mental health focus, and just on the marketing end, because I'm always thinking about that, like, we're talking about mental health on all our channels. Like, people are going to recognize that.
Yeah.
Like, people are
Yeah.
going to be like, why are Brand and all these guys and Jim Rat Crypto talking about their kids making sure that they have confidence in school? Like, why are they talking about that? Why aren't they trying to rug pull? Like, aren't they so rich
Yeah.
that they want
Yeah.
to make everyone poor? Like everyone says Richard's so rich that he's going to rug pull everyone, and you're like, okay, 100,000. Okay, like, how? So when rug pull? Like, why? Like, and then he's on there literally. I'm going to say this passionately too. There's not another founder that puts his balls on the line. His literal balls on the line. I don't even know CEOs that put their balls on the line for companies. And he doesn't even own the company. But he's putting
Yeah.
everyone's name behind it, not telling anyone to buy it, but recommending it as a good investment because of the game theory. And because of securities laws and all that. And people are like, oh, he wiggles around security laws. He's like, no, he follows the fucking security laws, you idiot. Like, it's like, even if you follow the rules, you're a scam artist. Like, he looked up the rules and followed them, so he's he's a scammer. But anyway, no founder's putting their balls on the line like Richard Hart. And I stamp his face on everything I do, because I've never heard a word out of that dude's mouth that hasn't been validated for the most part. Obviously, he says goofy, silly stuff. But like for 90% of the stuff that he says and recommends to me to do has made my life change forever. And I read that man's self-help book 3 times. He's not playing around, dude. Like, he has invested his whole life into being better. There's not another CEO, Vitalik Buterin, he's the greatest coder, whatever, all that stuff. He's not putting his balls on the line. He's a little nerd behind a computer that doesn't take accountability for nothing. And he's a great man, and he's done an amazing thing. But no one's expecting social accountability from Vitalik Buterin. He's literally a robot stick figure. Like, like,
well, dude,
but anyway,
yeah.
you know.
Well, and you're right, because like
talk
I've got
all day,
Richard's
Brand.
book. Well, yeah, because like I've got Richard's book right here. Like, this is the second one that fixed the world, and not many people even know he's got a second one, you know, about fixing the world, aside from even just fixing yourself, dude. There's there's so much in this, like you said, that not only if you were like a normal CEO or regular CEO, you'd be like, oh man, this information's too good. Like, I'm not going to share it with these people, because then they might have like an upper hand on me. But Richard's like, dude, I'm going to show you like my best information, because you're probably not going to act on it. And if you do, it's not something that I've got a scarce mentality about in the first place. So you're going to succeed from it. Yeah, Richard's definitely, like you said, he's put his, his whole reputation on the line and everything else on the line. And I really commend the hell out of that, let alone him actually having those positive results that we've seen.
And positive is a little bit, I mean, like, you almost have to I had to go into this financial office and been like, I hadn't made that much money. Don't worry. Not APY ain't that high, guys. This is all realistic. So they don't shit themselves when they hear, because you're getting robbed so bad by fiat in the banks and the system that you don't even know what a deal looks like, because you're just getting quadruple robbed on everything. So they quadruple rob you and then give you a little, and you're like, thank you. brother. Like, oh my God, we get $3,000 every February. We can survive. Like, for tax returns. And I'm like, oh my God, like this little system they did was not well thought out. The plebs, it's going to get beat out by a better system. It has to. It just like, this is how life works. Like, better men come up bigger.
Exactly,
I mean?
dude. It's so true. No, there's one comment that I did want to read probably before we can, wrap up this one and do it on another one. But Bradley says, dude, where has this guy been? This is awesome. And so he's just one person. I know there's a lot of comments that I did miss, but there was a whole bunch of comments the whole time while we're conversating and listening, appreciating what you're talking about, what you're doing, kind of, like you said, a lot of people are like super insecure about these things, or not willing to admit that they're not perfect and things like this. And it takes a lot for someone to actually admit that, hey, they aren't perfect, or that they do struggle with this and that. And so I think, the conversation that we've had today, and like you mentioned, the conversation that we've had on the phone and stuff is similar to the same one that we've had on stream. And it's just really cool to, call someone like yourself a friend.
I'd be fair to say it's the same conversation we had 3 months ago with everyone out talking about it once. Yep. We talked about mental health, drugs, relationships, kids, potential future stuff. But now it's just on steroids even more because it compounds, And now we're here bigger than ever, baby. We're happy and we're ready to go and we're working together.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, cool, man. I think that might be good for this stream. I mean, we're kind of 90 minutes into it. But we should definitely do this again. I love the conversation that we're having and kind of like the idea that we, keep putting out there and keep wanting to see in every community, like you mentioned. Maddie kind of led a lot of the mental health and talking about that, but now you hear about it a lot more, and just other things that we all kind of share in common and that we can learn from each other. So let's keep talking about that and continuing to grow.
And like this stream, or I'm coming for your fire roasted. Okay, you better like that stream more. No, but like the stream, support Brand's channel. Blow it up. I don't know if he has 5555 stickers yet. Subs yet, but I heard someone mention that in the beginning. Do you have that yet, or are you under that? What's the number?
No, we're at like 5,066, something like that.
All right, I'll get a spam. I'll get a nice spam retweet for Brand. Get his 5555 hex themed tweet going, and we'll get that 555 like tomorrow. Let's get that 555. When I make that tweet, because Brand deserves 5555 followers more than anyone. And obviously YouTube channels, it's just like how much you keep up with it and the algorithm.
Yeah.
Support this dude's channel for whatever that means to him. He probably doesn't even care as much, but just let's get this channel blowing up, because all this stuff's blowing up. So just blow it up. We're blowing up. We're going to have all the cities, like Brand's in a city, I'm in a city. We're going to get so many more men in different cities that want to make changes, and it's going to be growing too fast until everyone knows.
Yeah,
and
that's so true.
And everyone so let's just keep going, guys. Keep pushing. It's hard, and just keep going.
So true, man. No, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, we're all going to succeed together, and we lift each other up, and other people as they succeed, we celebrate them together. And yeah, dude, thanks again for coming on, Crypto Gym Rat. Everyone, his Twitter is in the description, first link. Definitely go give him a follow if y'all haven't already. And we'll see you next time, man. We'll do it again soon, dude. I really like this conversation.
Dude, me too. I can't wait. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I really, really do.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like. Be sure to share. Be sure to comment. Say it. Say it. Stake that, stake that, stake that, a jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.